So it's the curtain call. Show's over, we've already seen the fall. As everybody starts to leave, I wonder if they hear me scream. Can we do an encore?
King Tuts, one of Glasgow's most iconic venues. Tuts has played host to famous bands such as Biffy Clyro to Oasis and Lily Allen to Nina Nesbitt. I'm here today to talk to Anna Sweeney. She's a rising star in the Scottish music scene, and I started by asking her about her music journey to date.
I started playing when I was about 17, just around my local hometown. I got involved in a kind of music night that happened every month, and from there things just kind of spiraled and took off. There was a lot of people really interested in lots of different kind of gigs and venues and that sort of thing that were there. So from then I just started playing more and more and writing more of my own stuff and meeting more people, and it really just kind of took off, and within a year, you know, we were booking festivals and playing for the BBC, and it was very rapid succession, but it was really good, and I was really lucky to have a lot of really supportive people around me and helping me, you know, get to where I was going. So that was how it began. And then I got to about a year and a half into it and realised that I was taking too much on at once, and I wasn't enjoying the opportunities as much as I should have been. So I actually took a break for a good few years just to kind of grow a little bit, I guess, and I never stopped writing, and I did keep, you know, playing at home, but I really took a big step back from it all. Mostly I felt like I needed to come back to it when I knew I was ready to, and when I knew that I was going to enjoy everything and take it in my stride, and that kind of happened at the end of last year. Myself and my other half, we went to Nashville to perform a couple of gigs, and when I got home I just kind of knew that I was ready to go for it, and so since then it's been all go, and I recorded the album, and I've just been gigging and booking up, you know, a lot of stuff for this year, and yeah, it feels good to be back now.
But did I ever mention that when you get attention and catch mascara eyes that follow you around the room? Don't mean to be possessive, but I got a confession. I get a little crazy, baby.
Jealous is really a kind of not too serious take on jealousy on either side of a relationship, especially I guess at the start of a relationship when you're not, you know, everything's not solid, and it's just all kind of getting together and starting off. I didn't want it to be like an angry song or, you know, anything too heavy. It's mostly just a kind of fun song about, I suppose everyone experiences it from time to time when you're out with your other half or whatever, and someone else tries to buy them a drink or something, and you're like, hey. So it's just really a kind of take on that.
And they gave you a crown, and one by one you shut them down. And as time went by, when they all caught on, they could see it was me who was right.
17 was an interesting one. It's actually really a kind of a letter to myself at 17, oddly enough, and also somebody that I was with at that age, and really just in general wishing you could kind of go back to your younger self and say, you know, you don't need to be in that relationship, or you don't need to be in that situation, and to kind of really tell yourself, you know, you're worth more than this, and you don't need to put up with that. So it's kind of revolving around, you know, a tricky situation in that age when you don't realise that there's more to life than this person, like, you know, your first boyfriend, or so that was really the inspiration behind it, and it came so much later than when it happened, so it's very kind of retrospective. You Knew It was one of those songs that appeared out of nowhere, and I had to figure out what it was about once I'd written it. And when I look at it, I kind of realise it's a song about, I guess, being sort of slightly merciless to someone, or the way you feel about someone, and trying to accept that, you know, you've really fallen for someone, and there's not much that's going to change that. and kind of how scary that can be in a way, because you know that if it goes wrong, that's gonna be an issue, and it's something that you really want to avoid. But also trying to be brave enough to go with it and kind of wear your heart on your sleeve and let yourself accept that this is kind of happening and you want it to happen, so you have to just bear with it and believe that it's not all going to go terribly, terribly wrong. Yeah, so I figured that out at some point after I wrote it. But
It's funny how it all turns out. I used to beg you just to promise we would never change.
with Wind and Fire, the chorus, the whole chorus just kind of appeared in my head. In the shower, which often happens, songs appear. I should just shower all the time, just write albums. But like, I'd be very clean. But yeah, and it was kind of a song about, again, being in a relationship, but realising that it was probably kind of all grinding to a halt and probably not right, and comparing how it is now to the way it was maybe when it was going well and when it was the way that you wanted it to be. So it's quite a sad song, and it's one of probably the more kind of chilled songs on the album. The rest of them are pretty go all the way through. So yeah, it's probably one of the saddest lyrically songs on the album.
You can tell me it's okay. You can tell me it's alright.
Encore is a not very well hidden play on words, really about the end of something and wishing that you could have one more try. In my head, it was very kind of visual, so we're looking at doing a video for it, because I just had this scene in my mind where it was almost like the relationship was actually like a play, and everyone was kind of like, this is getting a bit, dire. We're gonna walk out on this. This is just not good anymore, and it was almost kind of like a play on that. So I had this thing in my head, when everybody starts to leave, I wonder if they even scream, can we do an encore? And kind of playing that back to situations I've been in where I'm like, I don't want this to be done yet. I don't want this, I don't want this person to be out of my life yet. And it kind of came out of nowhere, because it wasn't something I was going through at the time, but I can definitely, with songs, relate back to things I've been through before and bring them back into the present and go, okay, how can I kind of translate that into the music? Which is helpful when you've got nothing dramatic going on at all in your life and you're writing an album. So that is pretty much how that song came about. Caught in the Rain I wrote when I was about 18, and it was really at a time where a lot of my friends were going off to uni and a lot of people that were really close to me were leaving. We do live in Scotland, so it rains a lot. And I guess I just very poetically found myself thinking about these people who were all kind of dispersing and obviously getting caught in the rain. But it is kind of a kind of song that's kind of longing for people who are aware important to you and aren't there anymore, and missing that kind of security that you got from having your group of friends or someone that you really care for. So it's really a kind of dancey pop song about that, which I guess is very sort of backwards, but a lot of the album, I think the lyrics are sad, but you don't really notice it because the production and the songs are very sort of, you can dance to it, you can kind of have a bop. So that was kind of not on purpose, but that was just the way that they all came about.
Hold me down, keep my head up on the cold hard ground, 'cause I need something
What's the story behind Heartbreaker's Daughter?
That's kind of tricky. I wrote that one again when I was about 18, and I never really did anything with it. I had this little garage band demo and people liked it when we played it live, so I kind of thought I'm going to bring that back and rework it and put it on the album. But it's really kind of, I guess it's in a way, and I didn't realise this until I'd really put it down on the album, but I listened to it and I was like, I think this is a little bit about growing up and experiencing kind of your parents. Like, my parents didn't really get on, and I kind of was used to that, and it was almost like I almost sort of expected that in my own relationships a bit. and kind of feeling like, okay, if I go through this, I kind of know the score here, so I feel like I can probably handle it, but at the same time it's a very daunting thought to feel like you might have to, you know, one day be in something really serious that goes wrong relationship-wise. As you may have noticed, all of my songs are about boys. That wasn't on purpose. So yeah, that was, again, I kind of realised once it was out there and once it was written, I was like, I think that's what that was about. So it kind of wrote itself a little bit, yeah.
Mine, you can break your own heart, but I won't let you.
Fix is about my ex, as you may or may not be able to tell. And a lot of stuff happened, I won't go into it, that's not what I'm here to do. But the song is really about how he couldn't take responsibility for his own, for anything really at all, and couldn't understand that things had gone wrong and a lot of that was his doing. And it really bothered me to be blamed for it all, and two other people as well as between the two of us, and I was like, you know, and then this one day I'd had so much time spent thinking about how this was bothering me and I couldn't do anything about it, and then I suddenly realised that it wasn't really my problem anymore and that it was over and I didn't really need to spend any time or effort worrying about it, and that was kind of a really nice moment of I'm clear, and I guess that's where "you're not my problem to fix" came from. So that's a fun one to play, because it's just kind of like I'm free from these issues now and you're somebody else's problem. Yeah, totally. I guess that's the one song on the album that's kind of an angry song. Not that it comes across as angry, but I was definitely kind of like getting out those emotions there, for sure.
So that was the wonderful Anna Sweeney. Make sure you listen to Game Face, available on Spotify now, and check out her live dates across Scotland this summer.
So it's the curtain call. Shows